KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. On the go, ESPNSA.com. That's a place to be on the regular. That's where the cool kids hang. You can go there and watch us live, see our YouTube feed, watch us on Facebook, ESPN San Antonio. If you're there, you see Jason Minix wearing, is that an Arizona State Sun Devils?
It is.
Victory polo? Yes, it is.
It is. Good. It was the next one in line in the closet.
There you go. It's Wednesday. Had to go from gray to blue. Had to go to gray to blue. I'm Rob Thompson. James Pleasure is in purple today. That is purple, correct? Yes.
The shirt's blue, the tie's purple.
Oh, all right.
It looked like two shades of purple to me. I thought you were just listening to Greeny so much, who has revealed he is going to wear a purple tie in honor of two Northwestern guys that are going to get drafted in the first round tomorrow. He is so happy, so excited to be hosting the NFL draft, but he has revealed he will wear a purple tie on tomorrow's broadcast.
You know, I guess if you have to find something to cling to for your alma mater to have any kind of relevance, I guess that's as good as any. Why don't you talk about the phenomenal grad school and journalism school that goes on at Northwestern? But, you know, of course, you got a couple of guys being drafted. Let's celebrate for that. And the funny thing is, both those guys getting drafted, they're going to get NFL contracts, and they're still not going to get paid as much as the highest, as the number one grad out of one of the grad schools at Northwestern. That's the kind of school you should be proud to be a part of. But we digress.
But I believe he said, and don't quote me on this, but I believe Greeny said it will be the first time in history that two Northwestern Wildcats go in the first round, which I actually believe.
That wouldn't shock me one bit.
One of them might be a Cowboy.
Let's hope. The Rice of the Big Ten. Yeah, we're going to talk a lot of Cowboys. And if you haven't heard, what appears to be a minor trade to the untrained eye, to them that don't listen to the likes of the Blitz and ESPN San Antonio, the Teddy Bridgewater deal from Carolina to the Denver Broncos has a huge effect on what the Dallas Cowboys are going to do, we believe. We're going to look at that trade and its effect on the Cowboys draft, because what looked and what we'd hoped to be a boring draft, just get the guy you want and stick to the plan. Well, the plan might be out the window long before the Cowboys even get a chance to pick. Welcome aboard, Vince. We're glad you're here. We're going to talk a lot about the Cowboys. We're looking forward to the Spurs game tonight as they get a chance to return to the scene of the crime, their last loss, and Bam Adebayo's abuse. They're taking on Miami tonight without a Derek White. Was the last game we saw with the Wizards the apex of the season, or will they be able to hold on until the cavalry that is Derek White returns as they charge toward a 10th seed and a play-in series or game?
As frustrated as we are with the Spurs, and as much as we're watching the standings and trying to figure out where the Spurs might end up, can you imagine what sports radio must be like in San Francisco today after the beatdown the Warriors took last night? I mean, as bad as it has been for the San Antonio Spurs at times this year, nothing comes close to what Golden State put out last night. And that's not the first time they've had the crap beat out of them this year. It is just weird, yet they're so nonchalant about it. And we have a game like that, and yet we're looking for Bridges. It's crazy.
Well, they have the built-in excuse, but even Kirk can be calm in the post game. Did you hear what this is a coach that is underneath the table. There's something going. There's shaking knees. Something he's grabbing onto the table. So in the post game, Steve Kerr goes, it's not so much the 9-minute offensive drought.
9. That team 9 minutes without a
bucket.
The
longest in the history of professional basketball. It's not so much the 9-minute. I'll say it again. The 9-minute. The quarters are only 12. A 9-minute offensive drought.
High school games with more scoring than that.
I've seen 8th grade girls teams manage to get one bucket in 9 minutes. It's not the 9-minute offensive drought. It's the defense.
Well,
so you set an all-time record in the NBA, and your defense was worse than that. Congratulations.
The final score was 133 to 103, and it wasn't even that close. I mean, it wasn't even that close.
Legit, I honestly was starting to come around on Steph Curry at least being talked about in the MVP conversation. I mean, I felt like it was worthy to have him there.
He had 25% of their offense last night.
Seriously, though, I don't care. There's been a lot of great players on bad teams, but you can't be an MVP and lose like you did that night. You have to be able to do a little bit more. It's not so much the 9-minute offensive drought. It's the defense.
Well,
that's a coach that's pretty comfortable in his job. He's a lot like Pop. You can say just about whatever you want.
The way the Mavericks played last night, I'm really sweating the Mavericks now. And I'm kidding, but I mean, you look at it.
Actually.
Well, I mean, Dallas is, in my mind, the biggest disappointment of the season. Yet they are coming into form.
Mm-hmm. And hence the reason for this tournament. I think the reasoning behind it is you're allowed to get hot late and get yourself an opportunity to kind of rev the engines and go. We're going to talk a lot about them, the Heat, and the rest of the NBA. James, you're plugged into the Houston radio scene. Have you heard anything on the Deshaun Watson continuing saga? Anything in the news the last couple of days?
It's been crickets for about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks now.
Do we read anything into that?
I think
it's trade season. Don't say anything.
I think
Busby, don't say anything. You want a sweet? I'm
just
Busby,
wondering if...
Shut up, neighbor. Shut up. I'll get you a sweet. Come on, shut up.
I think silence means they're working towards something that's beneficial for both sides of the legal teams.
I do find it interesting, and I think it's worthy of discussion, that there has been zero chatter on the legal side of things from two attorneys that do enjoy the limelight, do have the press on speed dial, and we have heard absolutely nothing. You wonder if NDAs and checks with lots of zeros are involved with this, and how will that affect tomorrow's trade? We will talk to Deshaun Watson and what's a trade draft.
Which could be a trade. Yeah,
it could be, and we'll look into that. We're also going to look at the NCAA. The idea of a playoff is being debated yet again, and the fearless leader, I was going to call him Darth Vader, but it's not, who's above Darth? Who was the leader of the? Come on, James, this is right on your alley. Who was Darth Vader's boss?
Palpatine.
Who's hiding Palpatine? Who's the guy in the robe with the rotten face?
Palpatine.
The Emperor. Well, Mark Emmert has been extended as the Emperor of the evil empire known as the NCAA. His contract will extend until 2025, right about the time that Titanic actually sinks. We're going to look at the NCAA, but the debate about the playoff in the NCAA football is a worthy look, because that does appear to be coming as a last-ditch effort to salvage some sort of relevancy in the modern football world for the NCAA.
How bad is your leader, your president, that when you extend his contract, as the Board of Governors did last night, that you send out a press release at just after 9 p.m. talking about what happened in your board meeting? And
by the way,
way down there in other business, Mark Emmert was extended for 2 years. If a commissioner of any of our major leagues was extended, that would be the headline story. But the NCAA, well, I mean, we don't know anybody else who wants this job, and we're embarrassed to tell you, but we extended his contract a couple more years. I know it was bad, but what else do we have to do? And he only makes $2.7 million a year at the time when the NCAA should also be getting hammered yet again for the treatment of a female sport national championship tournament coming up in beach volleyball, which is going to be played in Biloxi, or Gulf Shores, Mississippi, which is a wide open state. Yet the NCAA has said no media and no fans are allowed because of COVID restrictions. They just don't want to spend the money. They don't want to spend the money. That's what it boils down to.
They don't have the money. No one's got the money. I understand the anger. But come on. How many of us would have even known that the women's beach volleyball championship weekend in Gulf Shores was going on this weekend, but for the fact it was made public that no one's there to cover it?
Well, it will be televised on ESPN, so you would have seen it. But
no one's there to watch it.
But again, now they're saying parents aren't allowed to go watch their kids play. There's something wrong with that.
It sucks.
I don't know what do you call a cousin's kid? But my cousin
Freeloader
in Oklahoma, her kid runs. Kaylin runs cross country at a small school in Arkansas. They did the same thing for the cross country national meet. There's no fans allowed at an outdoor event, which again makes no sense.
They had to pass the hat to buy some weights for the ladies. You think they got money to go cover a beach volleyball tournament? All they could afford coming into San Antonio was a couple of yoga mats and some water bottles. You think they got the manpower to go? Yeah, you think they could gather? It is a shame. And the NCAA has continually been exposed for being at worst apathetic, at more common, just outright ignorant. The NCAA has ongoing issues. Beside, let's look at the possibility of an NCAA playoff. How big should it be? It is coming. How big what do you expect it to be? We'll look very closely at that. And of course, Spurs tonight. Game night San Antonio gets us going. But before we do, we're cooking tonight. It is Southern Recipe small batch pork rind cooking eve. And we got a brand new chef joining us tonight. I'm excited to look at our next recipe. We got a lot to do and no time to do it. Out of here at 6:30 for the Rangers yet again. Coming back, Carolina makes a deal. Teddy's a Bronco. And I think Jerry's starting to get the phone itch, and it's concerning me. Let's talk about what's coming up next with the draft here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and Darcidius it is here on the Blitz.
Yeah, if you're having issues at the house with plumbing, heating, AC, hopefully not your heater this time of year. But again, you got an issue, one company to call, and that is Quarter Moon at 210-651-5899. At Quarter Moon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. At Quarter Moon, they do not have commission sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. They have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. Quarter Moon has great maintenance programs that ensures your AC unit is ready for every season, or your heater. This time of year, you're thinking about your AC. You want to make sure it's tuned up and ready to go for the hot summer months that are ahead, because you can actually catch a small problem, make it and fix it before it turns into a major expensive problem. Quarter Moon, plumbing, heating, and AC. 210-651-5899. 651-5899 or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
Show us your meat.
On the grill.
Take a picture and upload it to ESPNSA.com, and you could win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market if you do. Grilling with the Blitz every Thursday.
My name's Bob. I love working on my ranch, but I didn't like going to the doctor and feeling bad. My lower back pain and joint pain was always hurting, and I just couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. Taking care of my ranch is demanding work, and I didn't want to just grow old and give it up. I heard of Dr. Torres and the Institute of Functional Health and decided to make a call and get an appointment. It was the best decision I ever made. Dr. Torres helped me understand why I was in pain. He understood my situation, did a thorough evaluation, and changed my life. I'm now 27 pounds lighter. I have no pain. I have more than enough energy to do the work on my ranch. I feel younger, healthier. I'm glad I met Dr. Torres, who helped me take control of my life.
Call Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health for a free consultation. 468-1891. That's 468-1891. The Institute for Functional Health. 468-1891.
For 37 years, Mother's Window Tint has been the Texas All-Star for window tint, car stereos, and auto security. Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, is saving you money right now. Stop more heat for less dollars with tint as dark as you want. We carry over 60 different professional films. Car thieves are stealing catalytic converters more than ever, so get a car alarm from Mother's that will even start your car by remote control. Save $100. Streaming music and your favorite podcast is easier and cheaper than ever with a new Alpine car stereo or kicker speakers or a JVC amplifier. At Mother's Window Tint super discount stores in Austin and San Antonio, they're all on sale. No time limit layaway. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. MothersWindowTint.com. Follow us on Facebook. Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at mothers, and save.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
And happy hour is back at Twin Peaks. Get up here Monday through Friday from 2 to 7 and score sweet deals like $1 off all wine, liquor, cheap shots, and freezing cold 29-degree draft brews. Feeling snacky? We also have select apps available for $2, $4, and $6. Cheers!
Do you hear My Computer Career ads and think, I don't know anything about computers? Well, you don't have to. Before starting, many graduates could turn a computer on and off, and that's it. And now they're IT pros. You could do it too. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new life in as little as 4 months. Grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career.
It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half, that feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys, plus no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
It's the Blitz. You're on ESPN San Antonio. I hope you're having a fine hump day. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Maddy Skyeline of mysa.com. Be here in just a couple of minutes. We'll look around San Antonio. I understand there's a new Tiki bar that's opened up.
All right.
I've always heard of a Tiki bar. I've never actually been in one. So I'm kind of excited to find out about this thing. Does everybody drink out of coconuts and everything covered in palm fronds? Is that what makes it a Tiki bar?
I thought being on the water made it a Tiki bar, so we'll have to find out.
I think there's a particular decor.
Well, there's that.
It's the glasses, right?
But part of the decor is,
I don't know,
sitting by a body of water, in my mind.
Well, I mean, there is the river, so maybe that would be enough. We'll have Maddie on, and we'll talk about this new thing in just a couple of minutes. So here's what's happened today. And here's how the ripple effect will affect you, Dallas Cowboy fans. The Carolina Panthers, see, they haven't picked up the 5th-year option on Sam Darnold, which is a very key part of the story that I'm about to tell you. So they went and got themselves some real cheap Sam Darnold, who, by all accounts was just miscast, misplaced, and put in the wrong pasture with the Jets, and everything should get better with the big head in Carolina. Well, they got him, and Teddy Bridgewater got into Carolina. He was adequate, but he's getting paid $10 million. I understand Matt Rule wanting to have his own quarterback, so they trade Teddy Bridgewater, a starting NFL quarterback, mind you, to the Denver Broncos for some chump change out of the cushions of John Elway's Jeep, a 6th-round pick. So he landed. So while you think that's no big deal, well, we know that Denver was thinking about a quarterback, might be drafting a quarterback, but that Drew Lock was probably not the answer. We wanted Denver to draft a quarterback for you Dallas Cowboy fans. Now, next, that leaves Carolina, who now, by evidence, Matt Rule Scott said, I like me some Darnold, who, by the way, has not had his 5th-year option picked up by the Panthers. Does that tell you, as a Jerry Jones owner, Jason, that Carolina is set on Big Head, on Sam, and aren't going to draft a quarterback? Or does that tell you, well, they need more room in the study room for social distancing? Teddy Bridgewater was taking up a corner. They got rid of him so they can go ahead and draft a quarterback. Or does that tell you they're comfortable with their quarterback, and Carolina, who sits at 8, is going to go ahead and draft defense? And if they do draft defense, we'll take a coveted cornerback from the Dallas Cowboys, who pick but 2 picks away.
The domino effect is, if you go read some of the Carolina draft notes, there is interest in a quarterback. They're not completely sold on Sam Darnold. So if one of the 5 quarterbacks happens to be there that Matt Rule likes, they could go quarterback. But the reality is they're probably going to go corner, and they apparently love themselves some J.C. Horn. Well, that is who Kyle Pitts said that was the best was the best one out there, right? So J.C. Horn could be off the board. The bigger concern now for me is if Denver, who already had Drew Lock, who was likely to take one of the 50 quarterbacks that are going to be available to them, now that they've got Bridgewater and Drew Lock, do they take a corner as well? There seems to be a lot of love in Denver for Patrick Surtain. So if Patrick Surtain II gets drafted, what does Jerry do? Does he panic? With the idea that there's some mock drafts out there, and granted, there's a gazillion of them out there, but there's been mostly wide receivers and quarterbacks going in the top 10. That when the Cowboys came up at number 10, they could have their pick of defensive players. The idea of that as we sit 24 hours from the draft, well, maybe not. And if those two corners are gone, you think about what Jerry said yesterday. Yesterday, he talked about, best player, don't be stupid. There's all those things. Now you worry about panicking. Now, the good news is if those guys are gone, you could have a couple of tackles that are still available to you, which would make Minix very, very happy, as I'm talking in third person.
Well, I hope Minix is very, very happy. But that's the worry. We heard Jerry just Monday. Hoping
Tuesday.
the phone starts ringing, or Tuesday. Hoping the phone starts ringing. Hoping things start to shake up. Waiting on calls that ain't happening yet, but certainly could be out there. What the hell's Detroit going to do at 7? Here's my fear. That you look at the draft board and you do suddenly see Fields or Lance or both start to fall for whatever purpose, and they get past Atlanta and they get past Detroit, and they're still falling. And Jerry looks in the rearview mirror and he sees the Giants and the Eagles, who also both want a cornerback, and is afraid more than anything that they're going to jump the Cowboys and go to Carolina, who Carolina might not be in the market for a quarterback at all. Yeah, go ahead and you can have my pick. We'll trade back to your spot. Give me your second or whatever it might be. And then the Cowboys get lapped by somebody from behind. My fear is he's going to see this happening and call Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And say, I get to choose. You guys don't give me any leftovers. What's it going to cost me? And Detroit will probably say next year's one. We'll switch ones, and you give me next year's 1 or 2, and you'll get the guy you want. Well, that's not the plan. You might get the guy you wanted as part of the plan, but you don't want to give up anything. Do the smart thing. Just sit back, relax, and pick the best player there, or bail go down. But don't trade up for something that you'll probably get equal value to later. That's my fear, that Jerry doesn't want to be boring.
Well, and again, he has taken offensive linemen. He knows the need there. They know they've got to do something with the defense. You've got Atlanta's GM that is openly talking about making deals that, if somebody gives him the right offer, he certainly wouldn't be opposed to making a move. And really, where does the draft really begin? We know Trevor is going 1. The Jets are going to take a quarterback. The 49ers are going to take a quarterback. So does it really start at number 4 with what does Atlanta do? Do they take themselves a Kyle Pitts, or do they get a Matt Ryan replacement? Then the Bengals, are they going to take a left tackle to protect Joe Burrow? Then the Dolphins, they need wide receiver help. Then you got Detroit, they got a head coach that wants to bite kneecaps. Maybe they end up doing something stupid. So, but who's going to jump up? The fact that you got Philadelphia and New York at 11 and 12, do one of those teams jump up? So where, all draft season, it's been the Cowboys are going to have the pick of the defensive player that they want. And now as we get closer to it, that doesn't seem to be the way it is. And again, listening to Barton Hahn today, and I guess, Hahn hasn't been there. Whoever's sitting in for that dude has been, talking about the chaos that's going to come because of the lack of information, no combine, and they got the medicals late. How much is that going to be there? Greeny talking about how he's got 3, notebooks full of notes and is praying to God that somebody doesn't get picked in the first 3 rounds that he's not prepared for because, Greeny said, if you hear me go, Mel, and that's it, then, he has no idea because there's going to be a player like that nobody's really heard of. You got Jerry saying just yesterday that the guys that opted out, they've got less film, so he's less likely to be interested in that. And boy, I couldn't think that of how dumb that could be. In the sense of
it's not about the quarterbacks. It's who gets taken. I think it's not about if a quarterback's gonna be taken. I think if San Francisco is on the Mac Jones, the Mac train, they want this guy, the one that's the outlier. The other two are kind of the same guy. They're both going to fall. If they take a Fields or they take a Lance, I think that Mac falls. He will plummet, but it'll also affect what Denver and Carolina do. I think you either like one or the other of these quarterbacks. You're not waiting for any of them. And if Jones is the one that falls, they're going to pass on him. They're going to go defense. If that's what San Francisco takes. If they take Jones, then yeah, I think the Cowboys, the moment you see San Francisco, if they don't draft either Fields or Lance, Cowboys got to do something, because they're going to lose. If they're desperate for a cornerback, they're not going to get at least their number one pick, I bet. Because that's when Fields or Lance, when those guys falls, that's the guys that Denver's looking for. Those are the guys that Carolina's waiting on.
Well, and if let's say J.C. Horn ends up in Carolina and Denver takes Surtain, do you trade back? And even though he's got some injury issues, apparently, do you take Farley out of Virginia Tech? Who before the injury news was a top 10 pick. I know in at least one of Mel Kiper's drafts mocks that he had him going number 8, Farley going number 8 to Carolina.
I think you trade back and hope for the best and stick, or you stick to your plan and you keep your draft grades. All right, that quarterback's gone. If we're drafting for need instead of place or talent, maybe it's it's a round later, but you got to stick to your board. And if you have a tackle sitting there, if you have a linebacker sitting there that you had graded at any place higher than where you're drafting, that's who you go get. You fill the need. You fill the need at that point. You don't have to get desperate and jump up, and maybe a Pitts is there and you get to decide. You can fill a need and get a starter in the first 2 rounds if you just stay where you are. You don't need to panic here. And by fear, as Jerry has zeroed in, or the defense is zeroed in, and we got to get a cornerback. Everybody says we got to get a cornerback, and they start seeing these guys are going to be gone, and they make a panic move when they could get that third, the injured one, later in the first or in the second.
It's funny because I know a guy that said being a GM is easy. I think about your tone on
easy
Monday
if you plan your work and work your plan. It is easy if you trust the guys that work for you, and you see it start shaking out, and you sat on Monday and said, shake hands, remember this, if I start to panic, I want you to remind me of this moment. And on this moment, this is the clarity I have had, I've sought. I know this is what we're going to do. And if the cornerbacks are gone, when we draft at 10, we're drafting X. I don't care what happens in between now and then. I want you to remind me of this moment. And Jerry should say X is either lineman or linebacker, or we're doing it. But have your plan in place no matter what, if things start to get weird. And my fear is he doesn't have that backstop. Like, don't break the glass whenever things get crazy. He doesn't have that.
Well, I mean, what they really need to do is have 5 guys that they're willing to take at number 10.
Yes.
And if one of those 5 are there, and you've already had that meeting, it's this guy, this guy, this guy, because at that point, if you don't have the 5, assuming that at number 10, you can go through all your different mock drafts. But think about one trade today, a Bridgewater from Carolina to Denver, and the panic and the chaos that I'm hearing coming from you now just on what is Jerry going to do. All right, maybe if panic isn't the right word, but knowing what the tone was yesterday versus what it is today off of that one trade.
This shouldn't affect anything is my point. But the permutations of what could happen, I'm afraid, are going to lead the Cowboys into Jerry into some kind of panic mode. Well, if you'll just plan your work, you sat there on Tuesday and told us, defense, we've scouted these guys. We know what we need. We know what the problem has been. And obviously, we're drafting at 10th for a reason. We couldn't stop anybody. And we went and got a coach, and now it's incumbent upon yada, yada, yada. Well, when that time comes, do that. And maybe your top 2 guys aren't there.
He told us yesterday they're prepared.
But if I see some kind of weird-ass trade up to 7 and Jerry holding a number, whatever Kyle Pitt wears in Florida, then everything's just gone haywire from as soon as he saw that Bridgewater's gone to Denver. Holy crap, get me the bat phone.
Here's the thing. If the Cowboys end up with Kyle Pitts, it's a hell of a draft. I don't care what they do with their other 9 picks. I mean, they're not going to get Kyle Pitts. They're not. But when you look at and think about whether it's Kyle Pitts, a J.C. Horn, a Patrick Surtain, a Rashawn Slater, a Sewell kid out of Oregon. I mean, you got those 5 guys. You get one of those 5 guys, and you've won your draft at number 10.
Absolutely. Without hesitation. It's boring, but it's effective. Come on, Jerry, we can do this. We'll continue talking draft, but let's have some fun and figure out exactly what entails a tiki bar, being a tiki bar. Maddy Skyeline of MySA joins us for her weekly update on all things fun in San Antonio. We're certainly looking at the Spurs right after that. The Heat are on the docket, and they will do it without Derek White tonight. Lots of talk with the Spurs coming up. At first, Maddy Skyeline here next on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPN. SA.com.
If you're looking for authentic sausage, the kind you could find in butcher shops, excuse me, back in the old days, then Kielbasa smoked sausage is what you've been looking for. You see, at Kielbasa, they make their legendary smoked sausage in small 150-pound batches with only fresh, high-quality ingredients, never frozen meat. They don't add fillers or chemicals that you can't pronounce. Then it is smoked over real hardwood, just the way Rufus Kielbasa did back in 1949 when he started the company here in San Antonio. And everything they make still made right here in San Antonio over there off of South Brazos Street, which is where their company store is. And for a limited time, you can get the Kielbasa smoked chicken sausage, the Hatch chili and cheddar flavor, or the roasted garlic. I've had them both. They are fantastic. It's only available for a limited time at the company store there on South Brazos Street, or you can order online at Kielbasa.com. You know, when you buy Kielbasa brand sausage, you're getting the best, most authentic smoked sausage you'll ever eat. If it's not, call Michael Kielbasa. He'll give you your money back. He puts his number on the back of every package sold. You're going to fire up the grill. Make sure you go get some Kielbasa today.
Get 100% sports while you give 50% effort at work.
Is that a rhetorical point, or would you like to do the math?
I'd like to do the math.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
You know, injuries do happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG Orthopedics has got you covered. Not all injuries, though, require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries, and he does concussion baseline testing. There's no reason for you to be in pain. If you're hurting, visit the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. They do have telemedicine services available through OrthoConnect. Learn more online at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Thomas J. Henry recently recovered $22 million in a wrongful death trucking case. If you were hurt in an accident, we can help. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio to start your claim today. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The thing about comparing rates at Progressive.com is that by now you've heard a lot of ads about comparing rates at Progressive.com. We probably don't even need the words comparing rates anymore to remind you that seasoning steaks at Progressive.com is an easy way to save on car insurance, or that swimming in trousers helps you find the lowest rate. And that's the thing about foraging for truffles. You've heard a lot of ads about standing tiptoe on a cinder block. Compare rates and sing softly to a wounded field mouse and save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
Spring makes all things new, and the Home Depot makes all spring things possible. Start a garden, refinish a deck. Use our mobile app to put over 2 million products in the palm of your hand. Some ready for pickup in as little as 2 hours. Oh, and if you don't have the tools you need, our tool rental department does. Download our mobile app to get started. Bring on spring with innovative help from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
We the Blitz will bring to you the best look of the city view. It's Maddy Skyeline, yeah, it's time for Maddy Skyeline.
It is the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. And aren't you glad you're on a device watching right now? We'd like to welcome onto our show Maddy Sky of MySA.com for her weekly appointment. Maddy, how are you today?
Good. I was wondering where y'all were. I couldn't see my friends.
We were under the veil of the commercial break is where we were.
Yeah. They're my buddies. How are y'all doing?
We're good. We're getting ready for the NFL draft, man. Are you consumed with what the Cowboys are going to do at number 10?
No.
The NFL draft is tomorrow.
That's the girl with
Cowboys pick at number 10.
Her priorities are absolutely in the right place.
I'm a basketball girl. You know that. I don't pretend to know all sports.
I think you've done a valiant attempt with basketball as well. And as the season goes on and our guys get chippy, the story you have for us goes back a week or so ago when the Spurs were playing the Pacers and little tussle. Things got churlish.
A little tussle, yeah.
And Patty Mills and Rudy Gay ended up having to pay $25,000 for stepping in, being the vets. Well, there was a move afoot of helping them out with a plate sale, but this still has ramifications regarding clothing and the ongoing effort to pay off a debt.
Yeah, well, this one fan named Julio Edgar Sanchez, he says he's a fan of the Blitz. I hope he's listening. He
Fine people.
Came up with he came up with this T-shirt, and it's a still of the scuffle, and it has like the parental advisory label on it, and it says Bala. And so he tweeted it to Patty Mills last night, and Patty approved of it. Now, I don't think it's to raise money for anything. I think it's just commemorating the chippiness, the rare chippiness of Spurs in this one instance. But it's a really cool shirt, and if Patty agrees that it's great, I'm sure it is.
Coming to a corner on Military Drive as soon as possible. Let's get this done.
It's already there.
Yeah, let's get it done. Right? I'm ready.
So,
buy a carpet and a new
also
shirt.
In carpet and a new shirt, maybe some laundry detergent.
Yeah, some of that too. Tide just falls off the truck someplace. I don't know where there's this backstory of Tide out there that I don't quite understand, but I'm certainly willing to buy. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Matt.
Something that we have to look into. Also on the Spurs fashion, realm of things, Trey Jones is now a Dolce & Gabbana celebrity.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means, honestly. I think it's just like the Dolce & Gabbana featured him on their Instagram feed because he wore a very pricey outfit that they sell. I think the pants are like $900 and the shirt is $600. So it's like $1,000 and up outfit. And I think what's funny to me is that a stylist put that together for him, but it's like, it's already a matching pair, so it's not too hard to put together. But
it's the Dolce & Gabbana Garanimals collection.
Garanimals, is it because
so wait a minute. Those pants are $900? And that T-shirt is $600?
Yeah.
And he had somebody put that together for him?
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Hey, man, I think it looks pretty good. And if you can get cheap or greatly reduced DG gear, more power to you, man. Knock it out. But, you know, the Dolce & Gabbana move, man. Got some swag working. The thing that bothers me is he can afford to buy that, and, you know, that was all free.
Well, of course. Well, like, if he's posting it on Instagram like that, then I would assume, you know, that's part of his influencer deal. Wear this outfit and post it, and it's yours for free.
About the, you know, the look at half the price kind of thing. I'm more about that kind of, you know, I can find that. I think I can find that at the Gap.
I would love to see y'all.
You can find that at JCPenney.
There used to be a show that was called Dress for Less, and they would find these candidates and set them off into the mall with at least runway photos to recreate it. I would love to do that with y'all at Ross. Or like
I was going to say, I mean, was that sponsored by Ross?
As long as there's the tall and fat department, I'm in.
We should do that. That would be so fun.
I'll throw together an outfit. Now, you might not appreciate the the look, but you'd have to get the entire story.
You give me some like Cabana Joe type vibes. Some Cabo Wabo.
That's me, man. That is me with the tequila. I can do some shopping. Maddy Sky joining us from ISA. Now, I'm excited about this because I've never actually been to one. I've always heard about tiki bars. They were kind of a big deal back in the 60s, right? I mean, what exactly is a tiki bar? Because we do have one coming to San Antonio.
So a tiki bar it can be, I don't know how to describe this. It's a tropical theme bar.
I picture palm fronds and drinking out of a coconut.
Yeah. The term tiki has some like complicated history to it and some conversations surrounding that. So it's a tropical theme bar, and it is this firm brought on somebody named Bamboo Ben, who is a tiki bar expert. Of course. As we know that tiki bar experts were a thing until the story.
Bamboo Ben, he's been in the business a long time.
Yeah, you know him. You're familiar with him.
You think tiki bar. You think Bamboo Ben, man. That's.
I don't know.
They go together.
Tiki bar and think you almost with your tropical shirts.
Well, depends on what they serve.
It's amazing that you've never been to a tiki bar, because I imagine everywhere you go, it ends up being at a tiki. I always thought a tiki bar had to be surrounded by a large body of water, generally salt water. You know, like something reserved for like oceanside.
Yeah, well, this one will be Riverside on the Riverwalk.
See, there's one.
Okay.
There will also be a Vietnamese restaurant joining it. That's actually opening Friday. And it's the same guys that own or behind Scenes, which is one of my favorites. So I'm really excited about that. I have two places now to get Scenes taste. But yeah, the Hugman's Oasis is opening next Friday, I believe. My story is up.
The what? The what Oasis?
Hugman's Oasis.
Do you speak of Robert H. Hugman, the designer of our San Antonio River?
Yeah, of course you would
Hugman's
remember
Oasis?
that guy, because Mr. Boat Barge Driver.
Robert H. Hugman back in 1938 secured funding, at least the city of San Antonio secured funding from the WPA, that's the Works Progress Administration to you and me. In our desperate attempt to get out of the Depression, money was sent to San Antonio, and H. Hugman, he and a man named Arneson, which name might ring a bell, who was part of the city of San Antonio's Works Department, went to work building our beautiful downtown Riverwalk. Now, as progress began, Mr. Arneson sadly died of cancer. And in honor of him and his efforts to build our Riverwalk, the Arneson River Theater was christened with Arneson's name and lives to this day. And if you look to my left, you will see... anyway.
Do we have to tip the driver?
Tip your captain.
Jason looks like he's heard this before. He just kept
I got a solid 35 minutes, man. I could throw down at any given time. No, actually, lovely.
Awesome.
I'm excited about this.
He generally charges a lot for that. I mean, it's party tricks for him at a lot of places that he goes. You know, he'll throw his hat out there and just start telling you about San Antonio, no matter where we are. We could be at the Super Bowl. We could be in Miami. Somebody starts talking about San Antonio, the Riverwalk, and Rob goes right into his spiel.
And then I close it as a friendly reminder.
And then he pays the bar tab.
Well, as a friendly reminder, we hope you enjoyed your ride through the history of San Antonio, and a tip or gratuity is greatly appreciated. I like to say, I would always say expected, but that didn't know. Yeah, demanded. You can't get off the boat unless you show me $1.
Or
I won't push you off the boat unless you give me $1.
It is so nice to talk about things down on the river, knowing full well that, things are opening up. They're available. You don't have to be so worried anymore, especially after hearing from the CDC and the likes, that you can start getting outdoors without your mask and enjoying things. And the San Antonio Riverwalk is a great place to go and enjoy new things down there. The Vietnamese place, the House of Ma, is that how you say that?
Yeah, House of Ma. It has an accent mark on it, so I'm not really sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but House of Ma is how I read it.
I believe that's an
Correct
umlaut.
me if I'm wrong.
And where's the Tiki bar going to be?
The Tiki bar is, so it's like on the river level, and then House of Ma is on the first level.
All right.
So,
because I would think maybe like if the Tiki bar happened to be a floating barge, that would be an interesting venture. Yeah.
That would be awesome. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I
Would
completely
be down
concur.
for that.
You can get
And Rob would love to curate or to narrate that barge, I'm sure, with his Cabo Wabo shirt.
There we go. Rio, San Antonio. Go take a ride. Maddy, it's always a pleasure stopping by. What do you got planned for this weekend? Anything that cool guys like Jason and I, when we put on our Dolce & Gabbana swag, have something to do this weekend?
Not sure. I was going to go tubing, but that got canceled, I think, on account of the weather. So, not too sure. I'm getting vaccinated next week, so maybe next weekend I'll have more expansive plans. I'm getting fully vaccinated next week, my second shot.
Okay, second shot. I was going to say, I mean, you could go get that today if you wanted to. They're available everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Go
they're
get 'em.
available. Go get them. Yep. And go vote on Saturday if you haven't already.
I wish I had. I live out in the county, man.
Well,
There's
tell
not a
me
whole
what
lot
to do.
going on out of here. Yeah.
Don't tell me
Maddy,
what to do.
thank you. Maddy, thanks for stopping by. Stay safe. We'll talk to you next week.
You too.
Maddy talked about getting her vaccination. You know, the Dallas Cowboys and the Milwaukee Bucks are eager to give you a vaccination. We'll talk about that. And when we get back, the San Antonio Spurs take on the Miami Heat tonight. You know, it's been over 2 years since they've won 3 games in a row. Let's see if we can do it tonight, taking on the Heat after a fantastic Wizards game. Have they reached their apex? Is there more to give? And what do they do without Derek White? The continuing saga of the San Antonio Spurs next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM and on the go at ESPNSA.com. You throw your neck out, turning right to left on a river barge, trying to give a tour. If you're dealing with a sore neck or anything that is giving you pain, a soft tissue injury, like those strains and sprains that slow us down, I want you to call my friends over to Rosti. Rosti providers, well, they're all around San Antonio, easy to find. Go to Rosti.com. Got a map right there. I promise you, there's one probably less than 10 minutes away from where you're sitting right now, and they're open and available and waiting to get you out of pain. They're passionate about that. Don't let a strain or a sprain, a frozen hip, one of those nagging lower back injuries, sore neck, maybe it's plantar fasciitis, maybe it's just those tension headaches that build up as the week goes on. Rosti will get it taken care of, get you out of pain in a remarkably short amount of time. Non-invasive procedures. I'm not talking about having a variety of medications being diagnosed for you, either over the counter or prescriptive to dull the pain. I'm talking about non-invasive body manipulation that takes away the pain. Is it chiropractic? No. Some to that. Is it deep tissue massage? Yes, there's certainly part of that. It's all combined to get you out of pain. They were curious, the Rosti folks were, to see how quickly they were getting folks fixed. A couple years back, had a survey amongst hundreds of thousands of Rosti patients across the United States to find out how quickly it was they could get people back in the game. They found on average 3.2 visits was all it took. I'm telling you, the likes of Tony Parker, Becky Hammond, to say just a couple, use a Rosti to get themselves back into peak shape. Why not you? Call it a Rosti provider. When you do, you know you're not going to need a referral. Here's the number you need. 1-800-404-6050. Again, 1-800-404-6050. Remember this number. Do not let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Call it a Rosti provider today, and I'm sure you'll thank me later.
We're your home for the Texas Rangers in San Antonio.
This is Joey Gallo of the Texas Rangers.
Yet another Joey Gallo home run. Brought to you by New Brakes Mobile Brake Repair and powered by GPS of Texas.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Howdy, San Antonio. Chip Ingram from the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, inviting you to come out and enjoy patio season. We have newly remodeled patios, garage doors, and everything else you need to enjoy this great South Texas weather. As always, ice cold beer and specialty drinks. Happy hours daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And our kitchen is open from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. See you soon at the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road.
O'Reilly.
This is Derek's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
After the third time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by O'Reilly to have it checked. They tested it right there in the parking lot. It was bad, real bad. But they helped me find the right battery for my car and even installed it for free. Now my car starts like new.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Is that a Q2 or Q3 expense?
Dwayne's CPA went MIA. To keep his books and his sanity, he needs to find a replacement ASAP.
Hey, Johnny, have you ever heard of a fungible good?
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
All right, is that a Q2 or Q3 expense?
Dwayne's CPA went MIA. To keep his books and his sanity, he needs to find a replacement ASAP.
Hey, Johnny, have you ever heard of a fungible good?
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the Blitz. Blitz is brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. Jason Thompson. LawyerForUs.com is his website. The number you need to remember is 210-900-0400. If you've been injured in an auto collision, I want you to call Jason as soon as you can. Let him get to work for you. 210-900-0400. The consultation is always absolutely free. I want to remind everybody, Mother's Day is just a little over a week away. We want to help you out with that. We all know my mom's the best. At least I think that. You probably have differing opinion. And you want to show it, register to win $1,000 for Mother's Day at ESPNSA.com. Brought to you by Service First Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Give mom the very best this Mother's Day that $1,000 can go get. Service First Air Conditioning and Plumbing and ESPN San Antonio bring you an opportunity to take care of your mother. Go to ESPNSA.com. Get signed up quickly as possible. Spurs Heat tonight. I'm excited, but I'm entering into the next phase of Spurs fandom. Jason, the bellyach and the wondering, past that. We are now in the end stages. Well, by my math, the Spurs are locked into this playoff scenario, right? It would be next to impossible to fall out of 10th.
I mean, mathematically, it's possible, but realistically, it's not.
Yeah, it's backwards. You're gonna get just enough wins, and you got to figure the teams beneath you really don't want it anyway, so they're gonna give you just enough leeway to get it. So knowing that, I have. If you were Pop and you saw what the future held, knowing how important Derek White has been to the resurgent Spurs, what would you do over the next 10 to 12 games? Because I can tell you this: they can't play much better offensively than they have over the next couple of games, and their defense with every game is improving as well. I say that at least they're getting back after.
Did you not see the defensive clinic they put on the other night against Washington?
At least they're there to watch the layup from the front instead of watching the name on the back of the jersey. But all that being said, I really do think that the Spurs, up until like 9 minutes to go in the third quarter, were rounding into about as good as they could be. But now you lose Derek, and I do believe DeMar is the superstar and certainly the lead. Derek played such a big role in that. Now he's gone for the foreseeable future. If you're Pop, what do you do?
When it is such a great question. I mean, obviously, I would love to say play the young guys a little bit more. Maybe Devin Vassell actually gets some minutes in this situation, although every time we think that's what's going to happen, he gets a DNP coach's decision. But, maybe this is a good stretch run where you're pretty well locked into where you are to get Devin Vassell some run. I mean, quite honestly, that's what I want to see. I don't know if that's what Pop wants to see. But I do like the way, and DeMar deserves all the credit that he is getting and all the love that you've been giving Derek White and everybody else. But the guy that's really been the most impressive over the last couple of weeks, especially during this longest winning streak in 2 years or whatever it is, because they've won 3 in a row, right? They haven't won 4 in a row in 2 years.
2 years.
DeJounte Murray's been killing it lately. And it's interesting because early in the year, we were talking about you got a Derek and you got a DeJounte, who is the true point guard on this basketball team. And with Derek, DeJounte has played better. And I don't know if it's because he's getting pushed or because he is just feeling comfortable at this point. But I want to continue to see DeJounte do what he's been doing, looking into what next year could be for DeJounte Murray. But I really like the way he's been playing.
17 rebounds. That is dream. I mean, 7, and that's 17 for the most part. I'd say that's 9 fast break opportunities. Grab and go, man. I mean, that is when Pop drafted DeJounte, that second half is exactly what he pictured. It was beautiful. Yeah, it's exactly right. And to my fault, Derek White has to be a starter on this team. It's just no question about it because DeJounte is more comfortable because Derek shoulders some of that point guard burden. It meant a lot. So you got 12 games going. You know that when this team is ratcheted up and firing on all cylinders, we're kind of scary. I don't think we're, a first round playoff series win scary, but I do think that even if you're you stumble in and it's the Clippers who are at 1 or the Jazz or the Nuggets, I wouldn't want to play the Spurs 4 consecutive times. I'm not going to sweep them. I think you go into that knowing that, and somebody rolls an ankle and somebody gets suddenly hot and you're split at, it's 2 or it's 1 all going back home. It could be a little weird. So I don't want to see the Spurs there, but you're going to lose that. The Spurs were firing everywhere, and I don't know if they were leveling off or they were going to get better. So now we won't know because Derek's gone. So what do you do if you're Pop? Do you keep pressing the gas? Do you back off until you got Derek? Do you play your bench guys in expectation of getting to a playoff and maybe needing some 3-point shooting or a mobile big who can pass? I mean, if you're Pop, what do you do? Because now we're kind of locked in. Now you can make that decision, knowing exactly where you're going to be in a week and a half.
Well, but again, though, so that's the problem is you're not going to go into cruise control here because 6 is still within your sights.
No, it ain't. Not without Derek. Not without Derek, man. It ain't.
I mean, you might say that inside that locker room.
I don't care inside the locker room, out of the locker room. It ain't.
But do you want to be in the 10th, or do you want to even try to get to 8 or even 7? Because 7 or 8. You at least have the opportunity at 2 games. 9 or 10, it's win or go home. So, again, if you're Pop and that coaching staff, do you want to make the real playoffs or one and done and have that 1 extra game? A whole lot of work for 1 extra game if you don't really want it. So my guess is it's still going to be, at least going into every game, the game plan is foot on the gas. Now, if you pull a Golden State and you're down 40 in the third quarter, at that point, maybe, you empty the bench and let some of the other guys play.
It's a tough call here because I can see both sides of this. I can put the gas on and go because even without Derek, if everything continues to go on that path, it's going to be good. We'll talk a lot more Spurs. Don't forget game night San Antonio, 6:15 with Jelnick. We got to go. We'll be right back. Deshaun Watson, haven't heard that name in a couple of weeks. I wonder why. We'll look at the NFL draft from the Texans' point of view coming up next on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for BSG, the company that brings you the best at home security and smart home technology. The security system in my house is from BSG. The video cameras, video doorbell, the other features, they're fantastic. And the camera systems that BSG offer are so good. Not only do you get a great picture, but it can tell if it's a person, animal, or car. In other words, you won't get a bunch of notifications when a car goes down your street, but you can find out which one of your neighbor's dogs is leaving you a gift in the front yard. Don't be fooled by those price club systems that you have to install yourself. You'll be shocked at how reasonable and these new smart cameras from BSG can be. Call them 210-877-1222 or go to the website bsgtexas.com and get a free in-home estimate. BSG is San Antonio's home technology company, a great local company built on trust, quality, and safety. They're the best in the industry. 210-877-1222 or go to bsgtexas.com. That's bsgtexas.com.
Nigel, why did you bring me to this bridge?
I've decided to make a change. I'm going to be more adventurous, take more risks, do something extreme. I'm fixing to bungee jump off this bridge.
Nigel, if you want to do something extreme, you could actually try working for once.
You can't change my mind. I'm committed, locked in, ready to take the plunge.
Do me a favor. Look down.
Oh dear.
Folks, no one wants to call a plumbing or AC company, but when you do, it shouldn't feel like you're taking a risk on choosing the right one. At Quarter Moon, we make sure your call is answered quickly, and a trained Quarter Moon technician is at your home or office fast. Your plumbing or AC issue will not only be fixed, measures will be taken to prevent problems from happening again.
Joel, it's a long way down. I don't think bungee jumping was a good idea after all. I'm getting off this bridge.
I think that's best, little buddy. I'm proud of you. Here's a pat on the back.
Wait, no! Joel!
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat and AC, 210-651-5899. License number M13229, TACLA 000743458.
Since the pandemic began, family violence has dramatically risen and victims are more vulnerable with fewer options for support. By providing shelter, healing, and prevention, Christie's Hope creates an environment where women and children can feel secure and allow the healing to begin. Thomas J. Henry has proudly teamed up with Christie's Hope to help bring an end to domestic violence. You can help too. It's time to prove we are all in this together. Please show your support for those in need.
For more information, visit christieshope.org.
Life hacks. What would life be without them? Like using candle wax to loosen a stuck zipper. Here's another life hack. Now you can get the same high-quality insurance from Allstate, but at a new low rate. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Not available in every state. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
O'Reilly. Are your wiper blades chattering, skipping, or squeaking? Don't let streaks or smearing on your windshield compromise your visibility. When it's time to replace your wiper blades, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and see our selection. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades while you wait. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. Online at ESPNSA.com. All day, every day. KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. On the go at ESPNSA.com. Do you get the feeling there are thunderstorms headed our direction? Weather looks kind of weird out there. Don't mind them brake lights. Drive easy. We'll get you all the way home. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. James Pledger driving us till 6:30 this evening. The Rangers going off against the Angels yet again. Always our Rangers are brought to you by New Brakes of Texas and powered by GPS Texas. All right. Let's talk some NFL draft outside of the Dallas Cowboy realm. We'll talk a lot of Spurs this hour for sure. Look at the Dallas Cowboys and talk NCAA football. Mark Emmert, the head of the NCAA, got extended today. That's a bit part of what we're going to get into. But, yeah, that's the weird part of the story. So Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans, that was front and center there for about a month What were the Texans going to do? What Deshaun Watson, big contract, all this, the accusations back and forth, 20-some-odd women coming forth with varying degrees of anger and reason to dislike him. Though it's gotten quiet over the last week and a half. Two very vocal lawyers not talking. That always kind of spells something to me. I just don't know what exactly it means.
Well, these lawyers are very busy because outside of their Deshaun Watson business, I'm guessing that they have other clients too, right? But between them, there's 22 lawsuits that they're having to go through, but it is kind of weird. Now, Busby's neighbors with Cal McNair. Do you think Cal McNair told Busby, walked over, to his driveway while they were out barbecuing and said, you know what, dude, keep it down for a while because the draft is coming up and we might have something in the works. We know Deshaun wants out. Could the Texans actually make a trade? And it is interesting that during draft week of all weeks, that radio silence on the Deshaun Watson massage scandal.
The way this will go away, if in fact it does go away, it'll just go away because the money will be given and non-disclosure agreements will be signed. So if it was to go away, it'll quite frankly just go away.
I think Busby would announce something. I mean, that's just Busby's name. Just like the lady with Antonio Bryant or Antonio Brown with the now Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he re-signed. They announced that they're fully supportive of each other, and there's no more suit, right? No disclosure of the amount of money that it costs, but we know that there's going to be a lot of money involved. But from a business standpoint, Deshaun needs to make it public that all 22 of these have gone away.
Public or to the teams that are looking to him? I think that if in fact this does end without going to trial, which I think the chances are pretty high, if he's buying silence, if he's buying quiet, that money, he's buying other things too. So part of the negotiation is, I'm going to pay you. You're going to sign this non-disclosure agreement, and you will never say anything about this again. Or I'm coming for you.
Well, I mean,
it will be up to me and my attorney. It won't be up to Busby to announce anything. I bought this. I bought the ability for you guys to go away. I'll handle it from here on out. That's what he's buying with NDAs. So if it's going to die, it'll die silently until we hear from Deshaun or his attorney. And it might be right before the draft. It could be minutes before the trade, but it will be incumbent upon. That's what he's buying. This is not up to a DA that has to keep the people informed. We're just talking about defendant lawyers and go ahead.
I legal question that they don't cover on Law and Order, so I don't know the answer to this. And I know a lot of lawyers listen to the show, so if somebody wants to call in and, by osmosis, you've learned something about the law between your dad and your brother, right?
But I just know that when you negotiate and I buy something, I get something in return, and that's your silence.
But if all these lawsuits are settled, all 22 of them, because I would expect some sort of announcement. Yeah, all these civil lawsuits. Is there anything in the court system and the court docket that would show the 22 that are pending, and then all of a sudden the 22 disappear, and so we can reasonably assume that they've been settled if there's no announcement that is covered? Right, so we are going to know at some point.
You'll know. There'll be avenues to find out. But what I'm saying is, you won't get the defending, the prosecuting attorney Busby coming out and say, "We won. My clients have all been paid, and he has proven his guilt by paying." No, it won't be like that at all.
There won't be a Busby commercial that says, "I settled 22 lawsuits for $5 million," and then in the bottom it will say 2.3 net to client. Right there won't be a commercial like that.
As long as you don't specify. I mean, as long as you can be
22 lawsuits this month alone. That's a new record.
It could be. But the reason we bring this up is now, if this is in fact in play, where Deshaun finally yielded and said, I'm paying people off. We can't affect what the DA is doing. I mean, the DA can still bring criminal suits. So that whatever happens civilly doesn't affect what's going on.
They would have to have a witness, though.
It'd be very difficult to prosecute knowing full well that, the NDA kind of stuff, even though that's not really a shield. But anyway, the idea is that he's in play now. That if this is going away, and they've been quiet, because if he does suddenly come into play, we've already seen the turmoil, at least to Cowboy perspective, at least to my perspective as a Cowboy fan, that a Teddy Bridgewater could move. What happens now if things have gotten silent and Deshaun is now available to the likes of the Bears, to the likes of Miami? What happens? We talk about chaos. You want to throw chaos into the mix. What if suddenly Deshaun Watson is available before tomorrow? That a deal has been struck. We might not know about it, and a team might have to fade the heat. But the Texans just divest and make the move. You want to talk about crazy? Add Deshaun Watson into the mix.
Well, and again, I mean, think about it, like, obviously the Bears, while, they have a starting quarterback named Andy Dalton, obviously they would take Watson. If I'm Atlanta, I would look at Watson. If I'm Carolina, all I've got right now is a big-headed Darnold. And if there is
a fifth-year option, by the way,
if there is a state that would embrace Deshaun Watson with everything going on, it would be, close to home, right? So I think the Carolina Panthers could certainly be in play. And then, of course, you look at Matt Rule. I think Matt Rule would love to have a Deshaun Watson. The one team where you talk about throwing major chaos into the draft is if the New York Jets were to make a trade for Deshaun Watson. Now, there was a time where we thought that's where he was going to end up. And, then we know what we know. What if the Jets were to make that move today or tomorrow? The chaos that the draft would have there, because San Francisco, actually, they're sitting pretty because they got 5 quarterbacks that they love. You got Adam Schefter saying today that there is one team in negotiations for Jimmy Garoppolo, and it is the New England Patriots, although there's still talk that the Patriots could move up to try to get one of the high-priced quarterbacks. But a Deshaun Watson move tomorrow or today, and it would have to be tomorrow. I don't think he would get moved on day 2 of the draft on Friday. But post-draft, when a team doesn't get the quarterback that they want, then I think Deshaun Watson and the value of Deshaun Watson would be higher.
Yeah, I'd like to think that there's a settlement imminent. I don't think there's been enough time yet. The fact of the matter is, I think it's quiet for a lot of reasons, and maybe the Texans have asked, guys, just calm this so maybe we can kind of help everybody out. I also like the fact that you brought up Atlanta. I think Atlanta would be a great landing spot, and they can get rid of the Texans if they wanted to just move him for Ryan. Talk about an expensive bridge quarterback, but you can get rid of him next year for a relatively cheap, considering what you'd be paying Deshaun for the next 4 years.
One of the things that if I'm the other general manager, if I'm the general manager acquiring Deshaun Watson, my biggest concern isn't those 22 lawsuits. It's Roger Goodell, because regardless of what happens with these lawsuits, regardless of what happens with any criminal charges, Deshaun Watson has violated one of the codes of the Shield, and he has embarrassed the Shield, and he will be punished for that. Whether it's 4 games, whether it's 6 games, we don't know. So if I'm the acquiring GM, if I'm Atlanta, I don't mind taking Deshaun Watson, knowing that he is probably going to miss a significant amount of time because of suspension, which is also going to save me some money.
Truth. And it allows me to go ahead and foster some of the other things that I require to build the franchise anew. And, this is a franchise that dealt with Roger Vick. I mean, they've been Michael Vick, they've been through this. Roger was a great running back. But Michael Vick, good grief. Every now and then, man, you wonder. My football brain. At least it was a football player, a living human being. It wasn't some fictitious brother.
If you would have said Ron Vick, because that would almost been Ron Mexico, I would have given that to you. But Roger, no,
I agree.
Roger, we got
right. But at least at one point in his life, he carried a football on a football field, and I'm sure did it on the same field that that guy Michael did. But in all seriousness, Atlanta would be in a very understanding city. They had a young quarterback that, a good kid that did wrong. and he rebounded, and they didn't get the benefits of that rebound after he went and did his proper time. Philadelphia got to benefit from that, but they've gone through that roller coaster before, and they know what redemption is like. I think Atlanta would be a good landing spot.
And as much as I would hate it as a Cowboy fan, I could see Philadelphia in that mix as well.
I would if they had a stronger head coach. I think that's a newer or different GM. I think it would be a good landing spot, but the Phillies got a lot of other issues they got to deal with.
I could see them now. Rock, paper, scissors, man. Towel, no towel.
You know? Maybe that's the best thing that could happen to the entire NFC East, except we'd have to play Deshaun Watson twice a year, and I don't want to do that, no matter who he's playing with. Hey, coming back, we got a lot to look at. The Cowboys, they're sending out hype videos. And, Jason, if you are zeroed in on a draft pick, would you send out his best plays for the rest of the world to see? I know you have access to him in a lot of ways, but I don't know. They have sent out a hype video for
we
one
all
of the
have
quarterbacks.
YouTube.
Yeah, I know it's available, but still, you feel like you're laying your dominoes down, or you're showing me your hand just a little bit. Let's look at what the Cowboys are doing as they get closer and closer to the draft. There was a trade today that affects them. Teddy Bridgewater has left the Panthers, is now a Bronco, and the only cost was a 6th round pick. How does that affect the Cowboys, and who do the Cowboys like according to their hype videos? And what does Mike Tenenbaum think of the Cowboys' coveted pick? All that coming up next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, or maybe you get a phone call from a family member or a friend that got arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go to the website, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. A lot of reasons for that. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. Of course, they're discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, anywhere in between, license number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. 225-2121 or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Hoops and Hype, the post-up with Brendan Medina and Jack Thompson, a basketball anthology. The culture from the court to kicks for the discerning fan. The post-up, Fridays at 7 after the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. While we can't control the quality of the water supply that comes to your home, you can control the quality of water that comes through it. Don't wait until you suspect something is wrong with your water to call Alamo Water Softeners. Some chemicals and contaminants are undetectable. Let Alamo Water Softeners come to your house and give you a free water analysis and free estimate. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Does it feel like finding clothes in your fit is impossible? Tired of feeling overwhelmed with options that just aren't right? Let the experts at Stitch Fix do the shopping for you. At Stitch Fix, we make sure each piece is hand-selected for your life. So whether you're staying home or on the go, Stitch Fix has the answer for what to wear. We make it easy to find what works for you. Signing up takes just a few minutes, and styles are delivered directly to your door. Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, your style delivered.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, your home to 7 days a week happy hour. Come eat, drink, and socialize safely at all 4 Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar locations. And Slackers Medical Center now opens at 7 a.m. to serve our valued medical community. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info.
Blake Stevens with San Antonio-based GPS of Texas. If you have commercial vehicles on the road, you're a target for personal injury lawyers. I mean, you're wearing a bullseye. Our system can protect you if there is an accident with proof of speed, video monitoring, even proof that your driver wasn't on his phone. Don't get hammered. Have real proof that you weren't at fault by installing our GPS camera tracking system. Call GPS of Texas at 444 210-587-7634 or gpsoftexas.com.
What does Airtron provide its employees? Stability, security, a sense of satisfaction at the end of each day. Airtron has immediate openings for HVAC service technicians and installers. Are you skilled with your hands? Do you have a high school diploma or equivalent? Have you attended tech school? Are you a self-starter who pays attention to detail but also enjoys being part of a winning team? If yes, apply today. Go online to airtronsa.com for employment opportunities. That's airtronsa.com. This opportunity is knocking.
O'Reilly.
Ready for an oil change? Our professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts recommend all the best products to get the job done right. Like 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil on sale now, just $28.95. And we'll make sure you have all the supplies you need, including a filter, funnel, shop towels, drain pan, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half, that feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Checking my weather apps. Looked out the window. It's sun's
going to rain. Yeah, it's sunny right now, but it's going to. Yeah, it's supposed to change.
When you get sun after this kind of muggy all day, I've been around this part of the world for a long time. That means thunderstorms are coming, and there's something in Del Rio, right? Looks like it might be a bumpy evening.
Hail, some tornadoes down there. Here we're just, I think, going to get some rain, maybe a little bit of hail. Good, great night to have a party in the backyard. Got the lawn mowed this morning. Everything's looking good. Yeah,
nice evening. Yeah, there's fronts out there. There's the green squiggly lines. We'll keep you up to date with all that. But let's talk some Dallas Cowboys. The trade that happened earlier today with Carolina, it's a speed bump. The Carolina Panthers have moved Teddy Bridgewater to the Denver Broncos, who draft just in front of the Dallas Cowboys, either ending their quarterback search or just part of their ongoing quarterback search. And Carolina, keep in mind, drafts just in front of them. Are they done with their quarterback search with Sam Darnold, or are they still going? That's really the key question. Now, the Cowboys, we have heard for weeks, have zeroed in on cornerbacks. Now, the debate can be had between 2 for sure, and 3 if you're looking down long-term regarding health. One's got a bad back. The Cowboys have released a hype video of their potential draft picks, one of which today was Patrick Surtain, the odds-on favorite, I would believe by most, for the guy that the Cowboys are going to draft. Why would you send out to everyone showing them, these are our top 5 guys, what are yours?
Well, now first off, I mean, you're right. From an official Dallas Cowboys Twitter handle, it does seem stupid for them to put out hype videos of guys they want with their staff
best
media talking about everything, the hype video. Because, I mean, we could all go to YouTube and, see all these hype videos. But almost like when Dak Prescott was left out of a certain video. It's not like Mike McCarthy knows what's going out on Twitter. And one thing that Jerry Jones has always done is those that work for DallasCowboys.com can be negative, they can be critical, they can be honest. They put out their stuff like any traditional news agency, where you look at, say, the Houston Texans and what Mark Vandermeer is doing. It is very much a propaganda machine, right?
Yeah, I would say that it's not propaganda, but it is scrubbed just a bit. Is what I would say.
The only thing that, and Mickey Spagnola has told me before, I think we've talked about this on the air.
Yeah, all the time.
The only thing they're not allowed to do at DallasCowboys.com is break news. So if they hear of a trade and they know that the graphics department is working on a trade, they can't be the one that breaks that there is a trade. Outside of that, they're just creating content for the most visited website in all the sports, and that is DallasCowboys.com. Because it is good, legitimate content. So when I see that, like, why would you do that? Well, it's not like Mike McCarthy said, or Jerry Jones said, let's put these out, right? That's DallasCowboys.com doing it.
But bloopers out.
It does seem kind of dumb, but it makes sense. I mean, hell, Mike Tannenbaum, who used to be a general manager in the league, he was on Max Kellerman talking about who he thinks is the best defensive player in this year's draft.
Who's the best defensive player in the draft, Mike?
For me, it's Patrick Surtain, just because, it's everything we just talked about with the Marvin Harris and Devontae Smith. Like, there's nothing to say that Patrick Surtain won't be a really, really good corner for a long time. The measurables are there. The intangibles are there. He is a very productive player, and he's the right size and went to the right school. And I just think there's really very little. I don't see any way he's not a really good player for a long time.
Now, you hear that, Tannenbaum on the Max Kellerman show earlier today here on ESPN San Antonio, and you go, well, if he's available at 10, is that who the Cowboys are going to take? But with the trade today, is he going to go at number 9? Is he going to go at number 9? And is J.C. Horn going to go at number 8 to Carolina, where 2 days ago it looked like there wasn't going to be a single defensive player off the board when the Cowboys picked at number 10?
Of the two, who do you think is most likely to take the cornerback?
Carolina.
Because the effort to get Darnold. It does feel that they would be most likely to do that, but that would still leave the second. So if it is the quarterback and it is Surtain, and Denver goes another way, they do get the quarterback that they've so desperately wanted for so long, and the Cowboys do have the opportunity to draft the second. Maybe not their first choice, but they get the second, whether that's Horn, Harley, whatever it might be. Would it be appropriate at that point to trade back, or would you be happy if the grade was this close of just taking the other guy? I don't know where I land there. I do know take the best guy available that's going to start for you, or at least have the best opportunity to start for you on the defensive side. Would that be too much to ask?
Well, yes. Now, granted, by all indications, Carolina likes J.C. Horn more than Patrick Surtain. So there's a chance that Pat's still there, Horn is gone, and then you got to see what Denver does at number 9. But I still think if your number one corner is gone by the time you pick at 10, then you've got to protect Dak. You've got to protect Zeke. You've got to go with one of those offensive linemen. I mean, there are 3 in the first round that are going to be available to you. And really 2, because I think the kid from Oregon's going to be gone before you get there. But Slater from Northwestern, the kid Ferguson out of Virginia Tech, one of those 2 guys can be your Tyron Smith replacement. And I know I've said it. It's boring. I've been saying it. I want a big old fat dude. I want an offensive lineman with that number 10 overall pick. These corners, you're talking about 3 different guys. History says that ain't going to be there. That it isn't going to work out that way. One of those guys is going to end up being Mo Claiborne. And nothing wrong with that. He had a very nice NFL career, but he wasn't the stud, impactful player that everybody thought he was going to be coming out of LSU.
Dallas Cowboys are on the clock tomorrow. This is the draft. You'll catch it live right here on ESPN San Antonio, starting at 6 tomorrow, 5 on Friday, and most all day on Saturday, right after the Saturday morning hangover. Hey, coming back, there is news coming out of the NCAA. The talk of expanding the playoff is going on in earnest, and it does appear something is about to happen there. Mark Emmert, the head of the NCAA, got an extension last night at the end of a meeting. We're talking NCAA, and what's the best path forward for the playoff? Is it 8 teams? Is it 12 teams? Is it 16 teams? What do you want to hear? We want to have you part of the conversation. 656-3776, 656 ESPN, talking college football next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex. If you're shopping for a new vehicle, you know there's no better place to go than Ancira. I can tell you firsthand because I am a longtime Ancira customer. Through the years, I've bought many vehicles from Ancira, including one that I'm driving now. My daughter's car is from Ancira, so is my niece's. Half the people at the radio station drive vehicles from Ancira, and it's because of how well Ancira takes care of you, before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. That great customer service is why Ancira has been a top family-run dealership in San Antonio for decades. They're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with all the options and features that you're looking for. They'll give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available, and you know price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
It's a good thing this video game is rated mature because it's going to be babysitting the kids tonight.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
San Antonio sports leader. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
To all you do-it-yourselfers, get ready to welcome Fram into the fam. Because America's #1 oil filter brand now has their own new line of motor oil and fluids. And it's only at Advance and CarQuest Auto Parts. Stop into Advance and choose from 4 new Fram oil change bundles starting at just $20.99. They have the oil and filters you need to keep your engine running stronger, longer. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, pump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pureline Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pureline Nutrition.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors that stand out in the Me Too snack aisle. Sea salt and cracked black pepper, pineapple ancho chili, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to higher flavor levels with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rind.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, you don't need to be a magician to pull 20% savings out of thin air. All you need is a bucket. Yep, you can magically save on 3 or more items with a $2.99 Napa bucket. So use whatever magical catchphrase you want, like Abraca Bucket, or Alaka Savings, or Bippity Boppity Bucket, and save 20% today. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa Know-How.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations, exclusions apply. May not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 4/30/21.
Introducing Fidelity Income Planning. We look at how much you've saved, how much you'll need, and help you build a straightforward plan to generate income, even when you're not working. A plan that gives you the chance to grow your savings and create cash flow that lasts. Plus, you can start, stop, or adjust your plan at any time. Talk to us today so we can help you go from saving to living. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE, SIPC.
Let's go.
It is the Blitz. Welcome aboard. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. You're on ESPN San Antonio. 6:15. We're getting ready for Spurs Heat. Jelnick Sports2Nite will join us for Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. On the heels of what turned out to be a spectacular ladies NCAA basketball tournament, culminating right here in San Antonio with Stanford's win and San Antonio's own taking home the title. And, the men's NCAA tournament went off, I thought, quite well. It's been a good year for the NCAA, away from, at least on the court, on the field, but coming back from COVID and all this. Lots of talk about tweaking college football. The powers that be are gathering together to discuss a playoff in the NCAA. College presidents are gathering. Mark Emmert just got an extension with the NCAA to continue to lead them to their death. He'll be doing it up until 2025, so we're told today. But the real talk of the day, Jason, is the playoff. It sits at 4. We know that's not enough. 8 feels, 12 feels a little much. But what's the soft landing spot for a true tournament that's representative, that is earned, that will foster competition and not bring in, one patsy a year that really shouldn't be there? 656-3776, 656 ESPN for your Kia Bassa Bacon phone lines. The tournament in discussion. Where do you want to see it land?
It's interesting because as I'm watching the spring football and as Sam Houston State gets ready to play in the second round, the semifinals of their tournament, they went to 12 this year. They cut it back, and I believe they're at 12, or did it go 16? Whatever it was. But I think 12 is a pretty good number with a committee, not necessarily the poll. Because it's unfortunate, and you kind of feel bad for the Central Floridas of the world that are always going to buy wine. And now, granted, when Jeff Traylor leads UTSA to an undefeated Conference USA season, and we're all bitching that they should be ranked higher and get a chance to go play. The reality is they would get destroyed in a playoff by Alabama. When you're looking at the 1-12 matchup, you know what I mean? Do we want fair, or do we want the best football TV matchups that are out there?
Well, there's a couple of things that come into play, Jason, and I do appreciate that there are some teams that aren't going to be in it, but I'm also tired of Alabama and Clemson and Notre Dame and Ohio State year in, year out, year in and year out. It has to grow. And I also know that the NCAA tournament, we love the Tulsas. We love the outliers that we didn't expect, but we don't want to see it all the time because it throws things off kilter. 12 is tough because of just the breakdown. It's hard. You'd have buys in there. So 12's a tough number to tournament with. 8's an easier number to tournament with. You can go down to a title, but then there's also the issue with the bowls. If you expand the playoffs, you're kind of circumventing the bowls in importance. And I was never anti-bowl, but I felt like the bowls at some point stood in the way of progress. But I do know what the bowls, what they meant to college football this year, the goal that they offered the teams to go play. They need to remain part of this. So here's my solution.
All right.
16 teams. I know it's a lot.
That's too many.
16
that's 10
teams.
Too many.
Well, no, it's not. But if we went Power 5 is guaranteed, your Power 5 champion, all 5 are guaranteed entry. There's probably going to be at least one other team that we would all be able to look at and say is worthy. Even at that, that's only 10. Then there are 6 other places out there for the UCFs of the world, for the Boise States of the world, for these regional winners that would allow us to expand the playoff into bowls and provide regional teams to play there. The Alamo Bowl could be part of the playoff. They would always get a couple of ranked teams, and they would get a regional team. They would get the Big 12 champion, or at least the Big 12 backup like they would have anyway. It lets those bowls play a role, and it also lets some of the lessers, like the Poulan Weed Eater Bowl, name one. Name like the bowls in Shreveport that we always watch, but really haven't been a part of that. You could even expand it to them. They could get a ranked team every year for the first or second round of these playoffs. You still get your bowl, you still get the party, but we also have them improved as part of the playoff process.
I think 16 is far too many. I think, 8 teams is pushing it. And it's funny because you said 8 was pushing it, and then you dropped 16. I thought you were on the same page I was, and we hadn't even talked about it because I think you go 6. You're
6.
ranked. You're 1 and 2 get a bye.
You can't do 6. So 1 and 2 get a bye. Okay.
Why? Yeah. See, so every Power 5 champion is guaranteed in the playoffs as one of the 5. And then that 6th spot is reserved for the next special one. Now, follow me. You look in Texas high school football, you've got 2 champions in every classification. You got your big school, Division I and Division II. I think you have your Power 5 and then your non-Power 5. So everybody else can also have their own playoff. That way you get a team like a Central Florida that can play and claim and win a national championship. Just like does anybody look at the Division II state champion and say, well, that doesn't matter as much as the Division I? No, because you're kind of evening the playing field there with enrollment size. So your non-Power 5s versus your Power 5s, everybody gets a champion.
I agree with you, but then why have a Division I and a 1AA? I mean, the difference in the UIL is enrollment. Well, in NCAA football, that has nothing to do with it. It's investment by the school. I mean, the enrollment at Notre Dame isn't even close to Texas A&M or Texas, so it's not size; it's investment.
It's conference wide. This plan, that I just drew up on a napkin. You got your Power 5 champion, and then you got your everybody else's. And then that way you also keep your bowls intact, which we know is financially major important to the NCAA and Mark Emmert.
Well, I don't know about the bowls. I know that the bowls want to do it for themselves. I think that the playoff is what pays the NCAA, and I think they're going to try to make this pie as big as possible. I think they want as many games as they can get because NLI issues, paying player issues. I think there's a lot of things coming that they want money. 6 might be the optimum to find the true champion while eliminating the chaff. It ain't enough teams to get the money that I think they're going to desperately need.
Very, very true. And it's an interesting debate, and we'll have to pick it up at another time. We do have some breaking Spurs news, and it's not good. 3-note sting, maybe?
We are searching.
Maybe.
Jeff G of the Spurs Zone.
Here we go.
ESPN San Antonio. Breaking news.
On Twitter, and many have it now, but Pop doing his pregame, getting ready for tonight's game against Miami. Reading from Jeff Garcia at Spurs Zone. Greg Popovich says Derek White is not in good spirits and does not expect him back this season.
We're going to talk a lot about the San Antonio Spurs situation now. We know what the Spurs have been with a resurgent and healthy Derek White. What will they be for the next 13 games without him? Miami on the schedule tonight. We're going to have game night San Antonio with Jill Jelnick at 6:15, getting you completely prepared for that. This is tough news, man.
Mm-hmm.
We knew he was going to be gone for a week or maybe 2, but the goal was get to that play-in. Derek, get yourself back healthy, and maybe we'll give ourselves a fighter's chance. But without him, it was going to be tough. And even with him in that 10th seed if we get there. But now we're locked into a 10th seed, and it brings that question again. What's Pop going to do? He's always talked about we play until we know the outcome. Well, I think we kind of get the feeling for what this outcome is going to be. Lots to talk about there. My goodness, that's crazy news. So at 16 teams, it's too much.
I think it is. I think it is. 8. I'll go with 8. I'd be happy with 8. I like 6. Your top 2 get a bye. Every Power 5 champ is in, which is always the bitch, for us Big 12 types that we get left out. So every Power 5 is in, and then you get the one outlier, the rare chance that Central Florida or a Boise State that has earned their way in would still be in at 6. And it doesn't water down the field. It doesn't lessen the regular season, which is the fear of 8, of 16. At 16, you could have a 3-loss Alabama still get in because, their strength of schedule in the committee.
Yes,
nobody
but at
wants
least
that.
there are, except Alabama fans.
Well,
except the Tide Nation,
CBS.
I mean, and CBS. So that's what I'm saying. I agree with you that at the time you get down to 6th, you pretty much got the best teams. There might be one outlier out there, but there are the seasons. You said it was rare. BYU has goes 10-0 and in a soft. You got who was the one that was kind of an outlier on the East Coast not long ago? It was like East Carolina that was 10-0, or one of those that you're always going to have 2 or 3.
Was it the Chanticleers last year? Whatever school that is, Coastal Carolina.
Chanticleers, yeah. Yeah, Coastal
whatever.
Carolina.
Yeah,
those
them boys.
10-0 outliers that have like a potential super stud NFL player that's on that team. I mean, we want that. I'd like to see the BYU and the Coastal Carolinas and the UCF show up in the tournament, because you never know. A puncher's chance against a slow Big Ten team, it could lend itself to a lot of drama. That's why we like the tournament. But 60's too much. But I don't know how you get there. I don't want buys. I want it to, once you get into that playoff field, I don't want one team getting a bye and another team having to play one extra game to get to a championship. Let's get it even. So you're going to have 8-16.
Well, and Rob, the NCAA is very concerned about these student athletes and making sure they have the proper time off to prepare for finals.
Well, yes, that's why they're going to keep Mark Emmert around for another couple of years to ensure that the athletes continue to be taken care of the way that they need to be taken care of. Yeah, that's exactly where the NCAA sits. They have the opportunity here to wipe some of the tarnish off what has been a desperately bad couple of years for the NCAA. They can actually fix things and get people on their side as they continue to break up and fall apart in front of our eyes over the next couple of years. Coming back, the Dallas Cowboys and the Milwaukee Bucks have a unique idea for fans that want to come either to their games or to their draft parties. They're offering something that a lot of people have been trying to get for a long time. We're going to talk that. Also, bring you up to date with the news from Greg Popovich. News conference happening now regarding the future of Derek White for this season. Lots to keep you going, so stay here. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need your logo on gear, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club over there on San Pedro. You need that logo on a mask, on a shirt, jacket, cap. Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. You need one item, 10,000. Sam will get it done for you. Planning a family reunion this year because you didn't get to have one last year. Everybody needs a matching shirt. Sammy's Embroidery Club can get it done for you. Check the website, samsembroidery.com, or go visit that massive showroom on San Pedro. It's a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. All items come with a warranty, and you work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now. Call him 210-824-3900, 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Game nights, the Blitz goes silver and black.
This is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. 30 minutes before every game night on the Blitz.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
The Institute for Functional Health has been my savior, my backbone over the last year and a half. If you're in a position where you need to lose some weight, either aesthetically, you just want to look better, or physically, the doctors, the physicians in your life are telling you need to lose it, I want you to call Dr. Jacob Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. He's the only physician that I've ever met that could not wait to start working with me to get me off medications, to get me living the right way through how I eat. I'm talking about a medically supervised program put together by medical professionals, guiding service all the way through the process of you learning how to lose weight the right way, not off the counter and not over the counter or off the rack, a program on a book or a friend of y'all's, how they lost their weight. We're talking a medically supervised program put together specifically for you. If you haven't been to the IFFhealth.com, I want you to head over there, IFFhealth.com. That's the IFH's website. And when you get there, there's a functional health test, a quiz, more or less, the questions that are asked to see where you're sitting. It's called the root cause test. I want you to go sit there and take it. Lots of questions that will be brought up and lots of answers can be had when you talk with Dr. Torres. I learned a brand new way to eat, how to eat, when to eat, how not to eat, and when not to eat things. It's a really an eye-opener. Food is the easiest way to get yourself healthy and the easiest way to get yourself in trouble, as we have all found at some point or another. If you or somebody you love needs to lose some weight for medical reasons or, again, aesthetic, I want you to call Dr. Torres. It's a program that has literally changed my life. Here's the number. I want you to talk to Dr. Torres, 210-468-1891. Call him. He'll meet with you however free of charge. I recommend heading down to their place down on Ashby. Beautiful location, full of happy people losing weight and getting healthy. If the time has come, whether by order or by need or just the desperation to feel good and look good in a bathing suit coming up before the summer, I want you to call Dr. Torres. You'll get on a weight loss program made for you, and the success is imminent. It's not the easiest thing I've ever done, but it's certainly the best thing I've ever done. Call the Institute for Functional Health today. Meet Dr. Jacob Torres. Get on this program, and I am sure you'll thank me later.
For 37 years, Mother's Window Tint has been the Texas All-Star for window tint, car stereos, and auto security. Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters, is saving you money right now. Stop more heat for less dollars with tint as dark as you want. We carry over 60 different professional films. Car thieves are stealing catalytic converters more than ever, so get a car alarm from Mother's that will even start your car by remote control. Save $100. Streaming music and your favorite podcast is easier and cheaper than ever with a new Alpine car stereo or Kicker speakers or a JBC amplifier. At Mother's Window Tint super discount stores in Austin and San Antonio, they're all on sale. No time limit layaway. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. MothersWindowTint.com. Follow us on Facebook. Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 10 locations and check out the Kubota L2501 tractor package deal, which includes a 4-wheel drive tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, a front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package deals at ewaldkubota.com.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks has been busy mixing up new craft cocktails for their latest beverage menu rollout, featuring signature cocktails, tequila cocktails, classic whiskey cocktail sections, and more. Plus a completely revamped wine program available by the glass or bottle. Come find your new favorite at Twin Peaks.
Today's pros need today's tools, and nobody understands that better than the Home Depot. Our app makes it simpler to get supplies ordered and delivered. Our online project calculators cut guesswork and last-second supply runs. Job site delivery puts what you need where and when you need it. And rental puts the right equipment in your hands, but not your overhead. That's how today's pros get more done. New tech, new tools, old-fashioned hard work. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
If you're an attorney who struggles with the balance of managing your practice and practicing law, consider Lexicon as your #1 pick. From client intake to billing and all that comes in between, Lexicon doesn't miss a thing. Our comprehensive solution combines best-in-class software and services to take care of your firm's most critical challenges, automating many of the tasks that take time out of your day. It's all about giving you more of your billable hours back. And who doesn't love more revenue? No more searching for practice management that works. Lexicon marks the spot. Visit lexiconservices.com to learn what Lexicon can do for you.
It is the Blitz. Game night San Antonio is about 30 minutes away. Jill Jelnick will join us at Sports tonight. Get ready for the heat. We're going to cook here in about 5-10 minutes. Going to be joined by Don Paul of Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds for our weekly cooking with the Blitz. We find new and interesting ways to use one of the better food groups in the world, pork rinds. If you're keto friendly, if you're into losing some weight, you want to hang around. We put together some pretty good stuff on the regular. It'll be coming up in just a couple of minutes. Find yourself a device. Watch it. It'll get you hungry. When we went to break, the news was breaking as Pop was offering his pregame press conferences. We knew Derek had rolled an ankle and it wasn't going to be good. The thought was it'll be at least a game, maybe a week before he gets himself back. But it seems news is even worse than that.
Yeah, technically done for the season. And again, with only a couple of weeks left, assuming high ankle sprain, looking at Twitter, I believe it was Jeff McDonald that tweeted, doesn't expect surgery, or maybe it was Tom Osborne, but one of the Express News reporters said no surgery for Derek White. So that is the good news. It's just the time frame that it's going to take to heal. the Spurs know their season is going to be over. The other byproduct is Devin Vassell will get the start because Pop wants to keep Lonnie Walker coming off the bench.
Good. Lonnie is in the right place at the right time, and Devin Vassell, while he is not Derek White, Devin does give to the Spurs something that they miss. They don't have. The numbers over the last 3 games have been ridiculous. Not a single starter made a 3 for the Spurs or the Wizards in the last game. Not a single starter made a 3. There are only 6 threes made. The Spurs, while they haven't, well, for the Spurs, while the Spurs were effective offensively, 3-point shooting has still been a desperate issue. And the one thing that Devin offers is he will stretch the floor. We have seen that. This is good news for Devin. This is terrible news for Spurs that were looking to get into the playoffs and make a little hay and make a little bit of a move there. Because without Derek White, we've seen what it looks like without him over the last month and a half, and it hasn't been good. The rough news for the Spurs.
It is rough news because honestly, when Derek and DeJounte are clicking, that's really when the Spurs have been at their best. Although you had a bizarre stat yesterday, and again, stats don't always tell the truth. That the Spurs technically, statistically, are a better basketball team when Derek White is not on the floor, when Derek White is not played in games. I don't necessarily know that I buy that because the eye test, and also he missed so many games early, and that was a team that also included LaMarcus Aldridge. So it is.
Let me bring it up.
Blow.
This is according to Stat News. The San Antonio Spurs are 18-18 without Derek White this season. And they're 13 with him, and without him, they are 13-11. So with him, they're 500. Without him, they're above 500. The winning percentage is nominal. They score just a few tenths of a point more with him, or a little bit less, right at 110. Their rebounds are higher. They assist at a half an assist more. They a little bit more than a steal. They're not that much. They're not worse without him by the numbers, but like you said, the eye test tells us something completely different. It is they're winning recently with Derek because of Derek, not solely because of Derek, but he has been, I think, the key. DeMar has been extraordinary all season long. Very rarely did DeMar have a rough game, and if he did, he followed up with a good one. That's been all season long. DeJounte, up and down. Derek, injured and not, has been up and down, but DeMar has been consistent. It hasn't been that. But over the last week and a half, Derek White has not been the MVP. He is the most important, the MIP, the most important player on the team, not the best. Well, DeJounte is DeJounte because he's taken some of the responsibilities that DeJounte has when Derek's there away from him. DeJounte can now crash the boards. DeJounte can now take that extra dribble and get to the rim. He doesn't have to initiate. And it just has made things easier. I was dead wrong about Derek White for a long time. He's vital. He's important to the starting unit. And I think we're gonna see that difference. And the sad thing is, whether he plays or not, Jason, we're still headed in 10th place. I don't think this has caused us to fall out and farther up in the lottery. We're still headed to the same place we were headed. It's just a matter of whether we're ahead or behind Golden State.
Well, and again, 9, 10, somewhere in there. I mean, that's where it is. It's going to be a little harder now. And, you mentioned the other night, not a single starter for the Spurs made a 3-pointer. But isn't Derek White, without looking at stats, is he not the most consistent 3-pointer of the starting unit? And that's now gone for the rest of the year. It also tells me Pop doesn't expect a long playoff run.
No,
they didn't say we hope to get him back by the second round or by the Western Conference Finals. He's done.
And if surgery is necessary, let's get it done quick. Season's around the corner. Hey, we'll talk a lot more about
surgery necessary.
in 15 minutes. Coming back, we're cooking with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Hang on tight. Bring your hunger. It's always fun. We'll be right back. You're on the Blitz.
We all know Mom is the best. Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! So why not show it?
Mom, Mommy, Mama. What? Hi.
Register to win $1,000 for Mother's Day at ESPNSA.com. Brought to you by Service First Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Give Mom the best Mother's Day ever. $1,000 for Mom at ESPNSA.com. Brought to you by Service First Air Conditioning and Plumbing. And from ESPN San Antonio. Mama, the meatloaf!
Receive a $5 rebate by trading up any non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen temporal scanner purchased at any retailer. With COVID continuing to spread, nothing matters more than having an accurate thermometer that's backed by more than 80 published peer-reviewed clinical studies, like the Exergen temporal scanner. Even after getting the COVID vaccine, you should be monitoring for fever to make sure you are protected. Keep your family and yourself safe by trading up your non-contact thermometer for an accurate temporal scanner and a $5 rebate from Exergen, where accuracy matters. Details at Exergen.com.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Yeah! Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pureline Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pureline Nutrition.
It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half, that feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Today, I'm taking it to the streets to give people the good news. Oh, excuse me. Hello, I'm Flo from Progressive, and did you...
No, I'm just waiting for the bus.
So then you have time to hear about how with Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance.
Yeah, if I was interested in talking to you, which I'm not.
Okay, I'll do the talking, and you just check if you can be saving, which is going to be pretty hard to do if you put on your headphones. Okay.
See if you're paying too much for home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
Your home for everything Cowboys.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minutes. Rob Thompson. The Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. If you're on the go, ESPNSA.com is the place to be. Find yourself a device, gather around it, and get hungry. It is time for our weekly Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rind Cooking episode. We'd like to welcome on a brand new guest. His name is Don Paul. We're getting all the things put together. Don, can you hear me?
Good. Do I sound like I love pork rinds?
Can't hear us. Donna, if you have the opportunity, I want you to get on the phone lines and we'll see if we can get it going. But we're going to get this going. What we do every week is we've partnered with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. And part of my ongoing effort to lose weight, part of my work with the Institute for Functional Health is a keto-friendly diet. So the pork rinds from Southern Recipe Small Batch we have found over the last 6 to 8 months can be used in a whole bunch of fabulous different ways. Well, above just sitting and eating the best pork rinds you can eat, the healthiest together. So, Don, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me? Do I sound all right? Is that better? Am I still muted?
I don't hear him. So again, we're it's live radio. Sometimes that kind of happens.
Well, today we're cooking some guac. Right, we're doing some guac fries.
Some guac fries. And again, you go to southernrecipesmallbatch.com or porkrindrecipes.com, and there are so many great keto-friendly recipes using Southern Recipe Small Batch pork rinds to create just incredible food. I mean, the amount of recipes that we've done on this show that we have come back and that I have personally done, it really is incredible what you can do with pork rinds.
Well,
I think we might have Don up. We are putting it. We are putting it together.
Well, putting it. Can you
it
hear
looks so fantastic too.
How's it? You can hear me, but you can't hear me.
We can hear you. It's amazing how we can ultimately make this all work.
All right. So do we?
You hit it hard enough on the computer, it'll work. I think that's what it is.
Perfect. Before we get started with the recipe, we haven't had you on the show before. You're set up in there, and you've got a framed basketball jersey behind you. What's the story behind the framed jersey behind you? Behind you.
I tell people I'm with the trade state, like basketball. My wife found, and she framed it for me. So nothing exciting. But behind me, I do like the Super Bowl tickets. Those are all Super Bowl tickets that are framed up all the way up to the 2013 game. So that's pretty neat.
I think Minix has seen a few of those games. So, Don, you're joining us today, and one of the great things that we do with the Southern Recipe is we take a great ingredient like the pork rind that is already made as healthy as possible, upmarket, niche, great pork rinds, and repurpose them, put them in recipes to keep them, healthy, to make them keto friendly, but also to add the kind of flavor that only a pork rind can put together. And this week we've combined that with guacamole. Sounds like we got something working.
Well, you know what, we call it our guac fries, but avocado is filled with good fat, they say, which means that it helps to lower your cholesterol. So that's a wonderful thing. Now we're going to start off with crushing up. I'm going to use the pineapple ancho chili because it's nice, little sweet, and has some good heat. When you crush them up, you can crush them up as fine as you want. And the beauty is now it's very simple. You're going to turn around, take the avocado, you're going to slice it into nice little pieces. You're going to dip it in 4 eggs. You're just going to mix that up, and you're going to dip this in, and you're going to air fry it. Now, the beauty is that air frying, you don't have to use the oven. You don't have to heat up the oven. Air fryer keeps it all condensed and everything. But you get this great, crunchy avocado, but it's breaded with our great pork rinds. And you said it, pork rinds are keto friendly. They're gluten free. So if you have somebody who says, hey, I'm gluten free and I can't use any breading, you're going to use crushed pork rinds. Now, if you want to step it up, you want to use something different, we have our sea salt and cracked black pepper. Now, if you want to add a little bit more, I add about 2 tablespoons of cilantro, dried cilantro, and 2 tablespoons of garlic pepper, 2 tablespoons of onion pepper, and again, you're going to mix it into the pork rinds, and again, you're just going to kind of batter those up with pork rinds, air fry, 350 degrees for about 10 minutes, and it's fantastic. It's great, and it's easy and simple. That's the big thing about any recipe. You got to make it easy. Get the snacks back out so you can go up in front of the game, watch the game, and not blow any time. That's for sure.
Well, I'm excited to have another item that I might be able to try in the air fryer. Like many, it was a pandemic purchase, and outside of curly fries, I haven't figured out how to do anything proper yet. I brewed a lot of good stuff inside of that air fryer.
But you know what? It is. And my problem with air fryers, I'm traditional. I like to burn things in the oven traditionally, and air fryers really hard to do that. So, okay. But I just did some fried chicken. Again, breaded with an air fryer. It takes a little longer than 10 minutes, but it's kind of neat to use that air fryer because you don't get the oils, you don't get all that drippings, but it's a nice.
We're tailgating with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds, joined with Don Paul. You brought up something, Don, with the avocado themselves after you've deep fried it. Recommend a dipping sauce with that might be appropriate?
Yeah. Now, if you're going to want to obviously not use mayonnaise, but it doesn't matter. You're going to use mayonnaise, just a cup of mayonnaise, and just about a 1/3 cup of sriracha. Very simple. You just mix it up, and you have a quick dip that has a little heat to it. And that's what I like. I like doing this real simple. You grab the mayonnaise, and there's keto mayonnaise, so that's always going to flow right. But real simple. You whip it up, and then you get out. The other thing I like to do too, if you like a barbecue sauce, I like to use the basic barbecue sauce, no name barbecue sauce, but I add things to it. I add cayenne pepper. I add some garlic. Maybe a little bit of smoke, things like that to make it my own. And so if you your listeners are like, yeah, that's what I do. But I like doing it quick though. You throw it and you get it together, make your snacks and your dips and everything easy, because then you can make more of them, I guess.
We're joined by Don Paul of Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Head over to HEB, grab those pork rinds, knowing when you get them, you can use them a lot of different ways. Don, you just brought up something about doing chicken in the air fryer. What do you use as a binder for the pork rinds that you've crushed and used as the batter before you put the chicken into the air fryer?
I've done it two ways. I've done just eggs, and I dipped it in eggs. But today, it was thighs, so a little juicier. I didn't use any. I just took the thighs and shake and bake, the old shake and bake, threw it in a plastic bag, shake it around, and that was it. Very simple. That's it.
Awesome. Don Paul, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. You can get them at HEB near you, porkrindrecipes.com. Don, always a fun segment. Hopefully we can work out the bugs next time.
We'll get that, but go cook it, man. It's at porkrinds.com. All the recipes there. Head over to HEB. Grab your Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. It ain't your mama's pork rinds. They're good all the way around. Don, thanks for the knowledge, man. We look forward to having you next week. Hey, coming back. Spurs and Heat with news breaking regarding a Derek White, and it isn't good. Jill Jelnick will join us for Mellow Mushrooms Game Night San Antonio coming up next here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. In San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. And while we can't control the quality of the water supply that comes to your house, you can't control the quality that comes through it. Don't wait until you suspect something's wrong with your water to call Alamo Water Softeners. Some chemicals and contaminants are undetectable. So let Alamo Water Softeners come out to your house, give you a free water analysis and free estimate. I can tell you firsthand how great a water softener from Alamo Water Softeners is. I've had one in my house for about a decade, and they're a great local company, family owned by the Townsends. Great to work with. Don't just take my word for it. On the Nextdoor app, Alamo Water Softeners was voted a 2020 neighborhood favorite. Alamo Water Softeners provides the best value for the highest quality water treatment. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Sundays are for the grill. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 in the morning to 1. Chop it up and grill with former and current Rock the Mic champs Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 to 1 every Sunday.
If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, you need to go to nubrakes.com and schedule a repair. Jason Minix here for New Brakes. They're a mobile brake shop. That means they will come to you, your home, your office, wherever you are, and fix your brakes. At New Brakes, they provide convenient and affordable brake repair, and they only fix brakes, so you won't get the upsells like at a traditional repair shop. Takes about an hour for most repairs. They only use premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. So if you think your brakes are bad, go to nubrakes.com, schedule your repair, save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio at nubrakes.com. If you're busy at work, relax and get the house studying for that nursing exam and your brakes are bad, get your brakes done. Go to nubrakes.com. Continue to do what you're doing while they're fixing your brakes, and they're great at what they do. Go read all the 5-star reviews and schedule your repair now at nubrakes.com. That's nubrakes.com.
If your definition of free time means arguing with your spouse, you might want to pick a new hobby. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or DivorceDude.com.
For 37 years, Mother's Window Tint has been the Texas All-Star for window tint, car stereo, Stereos and Auto Security. Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters is saving you money right now. Stop more heat for less dollars with tint as dark as you want. We carry over 60 different professional films. Car thieves are stealing catalytic converters more than ever. So get a car alarm from Mothers that will even start your car by remote control. Save $100. Streaming music and your favorite podcast is easier and cheaper than ever with a new Alpine car stereo or Kicker speakers or a JBC amplifier. At Mothers Window Tint super discount stores in Austin and San Antonio, they're all on sale. No time limit layaway. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. MothersWindowTint.com. Follow us on Facebook. Mothers Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mothers and save.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
And Doug. Check it out, Limu, a roadside carnival.
Step right up, folks. Test your strength. Come see the fire-breathing baby.
Let's fan out and tell people that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Look! An emu wearing sunglasses!
Limu, you're famous. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hurry in-store or online and celebrate Lowe's SpringFest before it's over. With values on a Cobalt 40-volt string trimmer. Was $159, now $119. Or we've got a Cobalt 40-volt mower. Was $299, now $249. Give your yard the works this spring. SpringFest, a festival of fun and savings for your garden and total home. Lowe's, home to any budget. Home to any possibility. Offers valid to 4/28. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. U.S. only.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Manu Ginobili.
This is Matt Bonner, a.k.a. the Red Rocket, a.k.a. the Red Mamba, a.k.a. the Sandwich Hunter.
Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
It's Game Night San Antonio, and of course it's brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. I don't know how mellow we can actually be. Let's talk some Spurs with Jelnick of Sports2Nite. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Spurs taking on the Heat tonight with some rough news. They stay on the road. That's good. The bad is Derek White won't play tonight, and we probably won't see him again until sometime in October. Jelnick, as you join us, we get the news that Pop believes he is out for this season. Initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, just a huge loss, especially because I don't know if you could argue if anybody on that team was getting hotter faster than Derek White had the last several weeks. His turnaround, his comeback from not just COVID, but his injury the first half of the season, and we really started to see him settle in, start to heat up, fantastic from three, playing with confidence. He was quickly turning the stuff into a Spur that we could count on other than DeMar DeRozan every night, right? And so just a heartbreaking loss to hear that Pop believes they won't get him back for the season. We do know, however, that Pop says Devin Vassell will slide into Derek White's spot in the starting five moving forward. And the reason being he wants to keep his bench intact. So this is a huge opportunity for Devin Vassell. Rob, I know you're high on Vassell. We've been talking about him all season long. I think this is a great chance for him to really not only step up when the Spurs need him, but to log some serious minutes and develop very quickly as the Spurs are running out of regular season games.
Well, and I think that's a big part of the Derek White news that, he's out for the season. There's only a couple of weeks left in the regular season, and clearly Greg Popovich is not expecting a long playoff run. Otherwise, maybe he's back for the second round of the Western Conference Finals, but I think we all know that's certainly not in the cards. What does surprise me in his pregame presser that Pop did tell us that Derek White is not in good spirits, and I get it. I mean, what a tough year. The offseason foot injury, then he hurts the foot again, and then COVID. I mean, it's got to be devastating news. But it is seemingly rare that a coach is going to tell you, yeah, he's not handling it well.
I find it
I couldn't agree
encouraging.
more, Jason. It's kind of alarming.
I find it encouraging.
Encouraging?
Well, yeah, I want him hurt that he's not there. I want him to know that, dude, you had become the most important, if not the best Spur. I mean, you have become the catalyst to a team that has won 3 consecutive games and was looking for that ever-elusive 4th consecutive game that we haven't seen in over 2 years. Yeah, I hope you're heartbroken, but the good news is we're going to land in the same place we were going to land. It just isn't going to be with you. You don't have to suffer through it. I mean, that's kind of it, but you're right. Jason, as we see that Devin Vassell gets the start tonight, I would like to see that this is the starting lineup for the rest of the season. And in no small part because we do believe, at least in my part, I think Lonnie needs to stay on that second unit. Do you feel the same way, or does Lonnie need to see a little bit more time with the starters?
Well, I like Lonnie coming off the bench because we've seen him thrive in that area. Now, my guess is Lonnie probably isn't happy that he wants to be a starter. You're the backup, starter gets hurt, you should move into the starting lineup. He's lost a starting job essentially to a rookie. But I think it does 2 things. We said this before we knew how serious the Derek White injury was, although I don't think any of us are at all surprised to hear that he's out for the rest of the season. That looked like a high ankle sprain, which is 3 to 4 weeks. And by the time he would be able to put weight on it and get back in the gym, the season is over. So I'm not surprised by this news. But we were talking earlier, I want to see more Devin Vassell and let him develop. You've got a couple of weeks left in a season where you're not going to go win a championship. So what can you learn over the final couple of weeks of the season that then can springboard you into next year? We saw the same formula with Keldon Johnson in the bubble last year in Orlando and what that has meant to him this year during this weird regular season.
Jill Jelnick joining us of Sports2Nite for Game Night San Antonio. When we last saw the Miami Heat, they put it on us. It was a 20-point beatdown, and it was the bench that did it, and Bam Adebayo. No Derek White tonight. We know we had a difficult time slowing down Tyler Hero and of course, Jimmy Butler, who had a fine game, and Bam. Defensive matchups, I do appreciate having Devin out there. I do think he's not the seasoned defender that Derek White is, but he is a bit longer and will break up some of those passing lanes. Minus Derek White now, Jill, what's the expectation for the upcoming week? Is it full on gas as I asked Jason earlier, or is it now time for development with the expectation they're in the 9th or 10th seed no matter what they do?
No, I still don't think you can take the easy way out on this and just kind of put it in cruise control. You still got to turn up the gas. Because even if they do solidify that 10th spot, it's going to be tough with these 12 games remaining just to stay there. They have to treat every single one of these games as potentially, hey, this could knock us out, or hey, this could bump us up to the next spot. They have to turn it up and try to play with some sort of continuity, because the idea is, right, hopefully get one of these spots, in the play-in tournament, and then continue on in the playoffs. So not only do they want to figure out how to succeed right now as they head into the postseason, they want to figure out some momentum, some chemistry, some continuity with this new lineup, with Derek White out, with Devin Vassell starting. The more game speed, right, the more actual Spurs repetition, Spurs success, Spurs excelling, the more games that we can see them at a high level and production-wise, the better it's going to be for that postseason. Hey, listen, you guys know this about me. I'm an optimist, and I trust in Coach Pop and what he's doing. I don't think the move is put it in cruise control, take the 10th seed, don't work any extra harder because you're stuck there. No, I think you got to treat every single one of these games like it's a make or break game. There's only 12 left, so why not?
Well, and again, right now they're actually tied with Memphis for the 8th, technically a 9th because of the tiebreaker. After that brilliant performance we saw by the Golden State Warriors last night, they should be relegated to the 15th seed just for funsies. But I mean, you look at it, and Portland doesn't have that big of a lead. Game and a half on for the 7th seed, so there's still plenty to play for. They're not stuck in that 10th spot.
Right.
Rob might think so, but in reality, they're not. They could get 7. If Dallas, who looked like world beaters last night against Golden State, they've been the most disappointing team in my mind all season long. They've got plenty of time to continue to disappoint. Spurs, if things bounce their way, which they won't based on their schedule, and I know that, but if you're up, you're aiming for the 6.
Yeah.
I think you were 2 days ago. It's a death blow, man. This is you lose a starting guard whose resurgence was reflected in the win streaks that we've seen over the last 10 games. The road is a friendly place with him. I don't know how friendly it'll be without him. I just can't imagine not being anything other than 9th or 10th. The Pelicans are way too far behind. That thing, they won a game, but 3.5 games over the next week, even without Derek White, they can't fall out of that. And I don't think the Pelicans want to either. You look at what the Warriors did. Yeah, they collapsed. So it's a chase to the bottom with nowhere else to go but where they are. They're in a 1-game playoff to end the season. That's where they're going to be, whether they try to win every game out from here or at the very least win the winnable ones and play the bench on those that you're going to punt. We wait for proof. We wait for proof.
I agree.
Well, and the question, really, I mean, the fun of watching tonight, because Miami's a 5-point favorite at home. They're actually a team that does have a winning record at home. But the Spurs are 18-10 on the road. Miami wasn't a good road team, yet they spanked the Spurs in San Antonio. Can the Spurs return the favorite tonight? Can they go win one for Derek?
This is one of those, get your 4th in a row. It's been 2 years since the Spurs got 2 consecutive. You know that the Heat read the headlines too. You know that they know that Derek's not going to be there, and they know that the importance that he brings. Spurs play some get-back defense, make it fun. Maybe Devin Vassell offers a little bit of help on the perimeter, but, man, this is going to be a tough one. But 4 straight, at least you can put the cherry there on top of the cupcake that is 4 consecutive wins. Maybe that's enough as we wind down the season. Jill Jelnick of Sports2Nite joining us today. Before we let you go, Jill, and we head off into the sunset for the Rangers Angels, you were doing something pretty special today out giving blood, some Bryce Strong work.
Yeah, absolutely. The Bryce Strong Foundation held its first blood drive. And get this, guys, when they first announced they were having a blood drive in Bryce's honor for his birthday, so many people registered. They made 2 more blood drives, May 11th and May 13th. So if you weren't able to get out there today and donate, then you have 2 more days to do that. Right now, the need to donate blood is higher than ever, especially coming off of the tough year last year with the pandemic. But just a really special event. His family, his mom, Diana, was there. A lot of the Judson coaches were there. A lot of people from the sports world, but just people from out in the community. And it was really special, not just to give blood and sit in the chair for a little bit, which I did, and kind of enjoy everything, but just being a part of that. Bryce is still very, very strong in this community and will continue to be.
A young man that used his short life in the best possible way. Bryce Strong for sure. 2 more blood drives with his name attached. Wonderful news, and it's thanks for heading out there and taking care and covering that. We look forward to seeing that on Sports2Nite. She is Jill Jelnick of Sports2Nite. This is a Game Night San Antonio brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. We're taking on the Heat tonight. Last we saw just a little over a week ago, the Heat take the Spurs down by 20, a game that the Spurs felt pretty comfortable with considering how banged up they had been, but nope. They get to The Heat minus Derek White. This is a tough one, but it's the opportunity we've been waiting for. Devin Vassell getting the start as they close down the season. That's really all you can ask for. Tomorrow we'll sum it up. Jason, let's go have some barbecue.
We shall. Rib night.
The latest on your silver and black.
DeMar is playing as good a basketball as he's ever played. He's playing as good a ball as he ever played in Toronto when he was an all-star. He's doing more with less. My concern is, does that matter to him? Because if it does, that's one strike against the Spurs where if you play here,